Good Saturday afternoon to our listeners watching us live on Twitch, 6 p.m. Eastern Time every week. We are happy to have you. And to those listening to our podcast after release, thank you so much for joining us. Good morning, afternoon, evening, and night.
I
This is Drunk Discussions.
I fucked it up already.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do I mean? We didn't pull in Craig. We forgot about Craig.
Just add
Oh
Craig. Now we're
my
live
God.
with them.
Yeah, we'll be right back.
Welcome to Drunk Discussions, guys.
Yeah,
We're going to have a good night. This evening, I am drinking on Elijah Craig Barrel Proof.
Well, we have to redo this
Now
anyway.
recording.
Alright. Take it away, Logan.
All right. To those listening to us on Twitch, happy Saturday evening. Thank you for joining us. For those who are listening to this after the fact, hope you're having a good morning, afternoon, evening, night, whenever you may be listening to us. Please join us on Twitch, 6 p.m. Eastern Time on Saturdays going forward. We will also be posting, as always, on all of our podcast platforms. This evening,
Welcome.
I'm drinking on Elijah Craig, and so far so good. I've had a couple sips already. Connery, what are you drinking on?
Well, I am drinking on
Drinking.
a vodka lemonade and a Bud Light. First time I've drank in like a week and a half.
It's understandable why.
Feels good. Yeah, I'm a dad.
Mr. Dad, the baby has come.
No, baby didn't come. I came, and baby happened. That's usually how
right.
it's called. Birds and the bees.
Birds and the
What
bees.
What was it that you said earlier today, Paul? About the sink? Was that
Oh yeah, better what was it? Come in the sink than
sink and cum?
sink in the cum. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Deep thoughts with the
Dastardly.
deep.
Dastardly.
What are you drinking, Paul?
I got a midnight cast from High Banks Distilling, actually here in Columbus, Ohio. So getting ready to try it. 82 proof, a little lighter than I'm used to, but cheers, boys. Welcome to Drunk Discussions, and hopefully everyone can drink along with us.
Cheers. I'm drinking out of a mason jar. It's very Ohio of me.
Very Ohio of you. I was offended because I asked someone, they're like, hey, where do you live? It wasn't Discord. I was like, I live in corn is what I replied to, because everything is corn and TikTok is corn right now. And he goes, oh, you're from Ohio. And I love how I didn't even say I was from Ohio. As soon as I just said I'm from corn, he was like, oh, you're from Ohio.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. That's a joke I commonly make when I'm speaking to people and they're like from another state. Be like,
right.
So where are you from? I'm like, from Ohio. Let me know if you ever want to come visit. And they're like, no, I'm good. And I'm like, I'm sure. And then I go, are you sure? Because we've got corn and corn.
And there's more corn.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
There's a reason why I moved out of Ohio. And one of the reasons was not corn. The corn was actually quite nice.
Fantastic.
Especially when we were at the farmhouse. We'd get drunk and go play in the corn.
We did. But that was field corn. But yeah, it makes great bourbon, so I can't complain. This is actually fantastic. So
your blurring just sucks so bad.
It does. Next investment other than my motherboard is a new camera. It's on the list.
There you go. I'm sorry, man. I've been out of it. I think I'm running on. Actually, I did get some sleep last night, which was nice. But being a daddy's fun.
Baby crying a lot, huh?
Dude, I love her to death, and I'm so glad I didn't have an ugly fucking baby. She came out like a purple goblin, fucking hideous. And then she breathed, and I was like, "Oh, cool. She's not dead." I did ask about the butthole, Logan. I did bring it up. I was like, "Does she have a butthole?"
No.
Did you? Okay.
They're like, "Yes, she has a butthole." I was like, "Perfect." And then platinum blonde hair. Platinum fucking blonde hair. We won't know her eye color.
Blue eyes.
You find that out, I guess, within 6 months, 3 to 6 months. It's typically when the eye color starts coming in. So,
well, I want to hear more about this little version of you, because I'm sure that there is going to be terrors because of your genetics. And so, with that being said, roll that intro.
Let's roll that intro.
What happened was we got caught up in a drunk discussion, and then he burned the bacon.
Where we talk about everything and know nothing.
You know what I mean? So it kind of seems like a win-win-win.
Here's Gerald.
I'm telling everybody I'm dead. Just draw a dick on it. It's not offensive. It's a dick. Everyone's got a dick nowadays.
Dude, tell me more, because I don't know anything about it.
Oh, a flapper's a 1920s dancer, you motherfucker.
Got a lot of bagels. I like my bagels. Chug 30.
Cheers. Salud.
I mean, this shit's free, right? Monday morning. Chime on in.
Tranquility Base.
Drunk discussions.
The Eagle has landed.
Welcome back. I'm just a clusterfuck with the streaming right now. I'm sorry. But yeah, anyways, we're back. We're live. Everything's going great. Other than the technical difficulties, which is okay. For our listeners on the podcast, you won't get to experience this. If you want to experience it raw and unedited, just fucking hop in here. It's a mess half the time.
So
sorry.
I have to say that since you guys talked about, you said something about like genetics to his daughter, correct?
yes.
What'd you
Yes.
have by that?
So, all right. So my thought process is I can't wait to hear about all of the things that she does because of all of the things that you did growing up.
Oh.
You know, like
Tenfold.
running up a phone bill of $3,500 for internet porn.
I kind of like that's impossible to happen in today's society. Okay,
It's free, woman.
it's free. I was like, if you want to rack up a porn bill, I don't care. It means she's not getting pregnant. Hey, it's winning. And that's how my mom needs to think about it. If you're watching this, Mom,
Hopefully she doesn't pee on your floor.
she's peed through a lot of things. She's shit on a lot of things already. It's wonderful.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Dude, it is.
Just like father.
Yeah, just like father.
Father like daughter.
I definitely did just shit the bed a few weeks ago.
No, you did not.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
you did not.
Stop.
Stop.
Have you guys ever shit the bed as an adult?
Never. I've never shit the bed of it as an adult, bro. Never.
Okay, I have shit my pants as an adult.
Yeah, pants, but not my bed.
Oh no, I was butt naked. Lauren was like spooning me and everything. I shit on her leg on the bed. It was bad.
We're trying
That
to
was my
drink you
reaction,
and not puke.
Cheers.
Oh my god. Oh boy.
Okay, I was sabotaged at the beginning of this podcast.
You were
Like Logan bringing it in, I was pumped. I was rearing. I was ready to go.
It was so
didn't
clean
even
too.
say the name.
It reminded me of NPR as you were chatting. I was like, "Welcome back to NPR today at 6 p.m." I was like, "This is nice. This is relaxing. I like it."
Today we're gonna do ASMR.
Oh, God damn.
It's funny because like when I bring it in, I'm like so bubbly, and then Connery does it. He's a little bit more melatonin. You are just baseline.
Baseline.
Bottom emotion.
Oh, that was.
Hey, hold on. All right, I am clean, like Mister.
Mr. Clean.
You are going bald. We all are going bald.
Hey,
Oh,
hold
it's
on.
receding. It's not bald. Fuck off.
But yeah, genetic
I have
wise,
hair on my head.
Yes. So
She
my
could-
thing was right. He brought up genetics,
Yeah.
and this was something I actually wanted to talk to you guys about this week. So I thought maybe I'll just throw it in there, right? So I learned something. A coworker brought it to my attention, and I mean, we've all kind of heard of the atrocities that what Hitler did, right? Right.
we're
I know.
going-
I know.
going
We're
to
just
Hitler,
jumping
okay.
into it. Jumping into Hitler. Okay. So his idea of eugenics, correct?
Mhm.
Do you know where he got that idea?
I'm still stuck on Hitler.
I know. We
No,
all are.
Where do you actually get it from? A book?
Well, yes, but the actual he got it from two people, right? The first being a British scientist, and the second being a U.S. scientist in the U.S. What we did before 1940s. And I was like, wait a second. And I'm watching this documentary that she told me about, and I'm like, I've never been taught this, and I love history, right? So I was a little stumped too. Did you know that in America there was actually a multiple bills passed? Not only for sterilization, but under guidelines of eugenics and bettering and purifying our human race.
Like no homosexuals.
All kinds of stuff
all
from
stuff like
insanity to they labeled that and others under that classification of insane, right? And this was in the early 1900s, from 1906 to 1979.
Holy
So
shit.
right up recent, there was around 30,000 sterilizations that occurred throughout California and other states for mental institutions, and it went under this eugenics bill that was passed here. And I think what blew my mind is like we heightened what he said, but he took it off of scientists in, well, quote unquote, Western society. And I didn't even know that. I never knew that.
I mean, that it's been kind of popular throughout the entire world, eugenics in general. I mean, if you think about it, during World War II, there was that guy Alan Turing, who invented the Turing machine, which was a device that was used to like decipher the Nazi code. And he was straight while he was working on the machine, but he was found out to be gay. So they went ahead and what do you call that when you
Sterilize.
yeah, sterilize, but using a medicine to sterilize it. And he ended up going mad and killed himself.
Chemical sterilization.
Yeah, chemical
sterilization. Yeah.
Okay.
Ended up killing himself, not making him a eunuch, but
the idea, like of what Hitler said, a better race or better superior humans in general is what his ideology was. He got it from the British and an American. Like in 1927, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that forced sterilization of handicapped individuals does not violate their U.S. Constitution. In words of the Supreme Court Justice Oliver Walden Holmes, 3 generations of inabilitied people is enough. In 1942, they ruled was overturned. So up into World War II, eugenics was an American thing first, and that blew my mind. I was like, excuse me, what?
I actually didn't think about it like that.
Yeah.
Like, so I guess that is eugenics. That is.
It is. It's just a different. His was a little bit more extreme.
So you're telling me Hitler
and I knew
was an American fan. He's like Kim Jong-un. I love America.
You like certain people will say that.
Basketball players.
They did all kinds of terrible things to people who had mental illness back then, though. I mean, they'd torture people, let them die of starvation, like terrible things would happen.
Not just that.
I had never, and I knew about that, and I knew that they sterilized people who were homosexual or who had
black
mental illness or cognitive disabilities. I knew that they did that, but I never connected the dots to eugenics.
Exactly. I didn't either. And I remember learning about like what we did with the syphilis experiment down in Georgia in rural African American communities.
I beg your what?
Oh yeah, you didn't know that?
No, I was.
Are
just
you kidding? This is something
crack.
Also new.
I was just thinking about crack.
The U.S. is kind of, now that I'm reading more and more about it, the things that we've done, it's kind of fucked up. But yeah, we gave syphilis as an experiment to inner city communities in like, rural Georgia, and like thousands of people were sterile because of it. That too.
Well, technically, that wasn't the United States, right? That was the colonies that wiped them out.
It still fits under that dome of what I'm saying. And she gave me this PBS, right? It's kind of annoying because like all the PBSs were free except for this one episode. And I was like, motherfucker, I have to pay for this one episode just to watch it.
Was it worth it?
And I did. It was. It's a very good episode on PBS. Honestly, it's kind of mind-blowing. But the thing that's even crazier is that Plato also talked about eugenics. He was one of Plato's best-known literacy words, the Republic. He wrote about creating a superior society by, procreating high-class people together and discouraging and coupling between lower-class citizens and higher-class citizens. Plato.
I don't want to come off. Please do not make me come off as Hitler here. But
yeah,
I get it. It's not like I'm not saying I'm for
what?
It. I'm not saying that. I'm saying
no.
If you are when it comes to forward thinking, right? If you're trying to work on better medicine, if you're trying to work on advancing civilization, putting a group of very smart people in a room and saying, you guys are the ones doing the procreation, the other ones can fuck off.
Isn't this just like Idiocracy all over again? We talked about them before as well.
Yeah, we did.
That show movie. It's kind of the same thing, but like it's crazy to think that throughout this, there's more than one author, scientist, philosopher that has talked about it, and the PBS kind of connects it to like Hitler, right, in a way, and like how he read these books, read these things from other people, and got this idea. Like in the late 19th century, Galton, who's cousins with Charles Darwin, hoped to better humankind through propaganda in the British elite, and his plan was to like make the elite more elite and bet people better, the people that are already better even better. And he held like conferences, 1914, 1915, 1920, 1928, and like a lot of people went. And Hitler, I guess, heard of this, and he had there was big funds already going towards this. and he added it to his plan. Like, and that's just crazy. I don't know. The dots that are connecting when I was learning this, it was just like there's a wormhole.
If you take a step back, right, and you're Hitler, just pretend you're Hitler, you're in Hitler's shoes, and you're thinking, like, you're watching the news and you're like, oh man, look, or you're reading the news, I guess, at that time, and you're like, oh man, these group of very smart people get together and they're like, let's keep smart people that are specifically white, blue hair, and blonde, blue hair.
Blue-haired.
Bear with me, okay? I'm a daddy now.
Tired, huh?
Yeah, so tired. Okay, say that was his first step. How the fuck did he manage to get an entire army to back him?
Propaganda. A lot of propaganda.
Indoctrination.
Well, yeah,
And that
yes.
indoctrination.
So
yes, but also here's the thing: Hitler was a drunk lunatic raving in a bar. Right.
Yes.
Nobody wanted anything to do with him.
That worked for the government, actually.
And then all of a sudden, the country started to do really poorly economically.
So
and then people started thinking, well, we need to try something different because this isn't working. And he was like, I have an idea. And there she went.
And this is how Rick and Morty was created.
Right. The snakes, racist snakes.
I just watched the last season, season 5?
Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking hell. When he was like, here's my memory, Morty. And he puts it up to his neck, and I was like, oh fuck. I was like, they finally connected everything. I was like, and then Evil Morty, I was like, holy shit. That's what we watched in the hospital for 3 days straight. It was.
Speaking of that, like, how is the baby doing? Baby doing good?
Dude,
Lauren doing good?
She is a phenomenal. Look, I can tell you this, and I don't want to come off like, look,
genetically, is she superior?
Yeah, no, for sure. And I was thinking, like, when you were talking about all of that, I was like, for sure, standards, like guys having standards, is baseline eugenics. I mean, think about it. I was like,
we're putting that media out there of what people want,
what people should look like,
standard.
But the issue is,
does it work?
Yeah.
Is it morally okay to kill people based on their genetics? Like, that is not okay.
No. Hell no.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that is the issue. Like,
let's say everyone had decent standards and everyone was like, I'm not falling for anything other than a 5. But everyone that fell for somebody other than a 5 created a baby when they were super drunk.
Logan, you're getting at that. That's what I'm saying. Technically, eugenics isn't necessarily the murder of this insufficient. It's like breeding them out. He took it to the next step further. But anytime we hear that word, we automatically think Hitler and genocide, like instantaneously. But that's not true. Like, the U.S. was doing it. Other countries have been in early times were doing it. Plato talked about it. Multiple other, philosophers. And then that's what kind of got me thinking about this. Like, every time we hear that word, we automatically kind of think Hitler. Am I wrong?
I mean, you naturally. I think that in nature, it's common for animals of all kinds to seek out certain qualities in their mate.
Yes.
Yeah,
and that is called natural selection. That's,
right.
I mean,
and who talked about
that's not what natural selection
is.
But
creating camps for natural selection is a little different.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
That, and by the way, for our listeners, everything I've said so far, you're probably like, wow, this guy's definitely Hitler. See, I set my ground. I'm like, camps are bad. Having standards is not. I'm just saying. That was very Andrew Tate, wasn't it? My bad.
Fuck that man.
He's a piece of shit.
Right.
Anyway, sorry, Logan.
No, I just...
I'm gonna have to snip this into TikTok. My bad.
Yeah, I know, right? You're just gonna go, fuck him.
Fuck Hitler, all right? But
yes, there's a line, and many of people across it. But where you brought that up, remember, the cousin of Charles Darwin hosted eugenics, fucking, foundations and meetings and shit that gave inspiration to the world's biggest mass murderer. One of.
Yeah.
Right. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, that's a rough...
Rhetoric always can be twisted and turned in modern society, even more so than it was back then.
So you're saying
more media.
You get a guy who's very influential. He follows the ideology of someone that's very smart, but he's so stupid he doesn't interpret it as
Or he twists the interpretation to his gain or benefit.
And then he's elected as a leader, and then he creates an entire cult of people that follow him. And then next thing you know, you have a massive divide throughout the country. And
sounds familiar.
God damn, history is crazy. It repeats itself.
History repeats itself, doesn't it?
He had brown hair and brown eyes, did he not?
Yeah.
He did. And he was Austrian. He wasn't even German.
Yeah. When you crack jokes at people and they're like, so what's your family background? And you throw out Austrian, it's not the greatest.
You look like Hitler's youth, actually. Blonde hair, blue eyes.
So, this is a shout out to my 7th grade history teacher and for my sister, who's I know listening, because she's in the chat right now. Mr. Wen, he called me the perfect Hitler youth child in class.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And I was the baseline for what Hitler would look for. And he sat me in a chair and he took a ruler to my head, pointed at my eyebrows, pointed at my head, my hairline, my eyes, all of that skin color. And he was like, this is what technically Hitler would look for. And I was like, well, I'm a demonstration. I'm a prop. And now that I look back on it, he probably wouldn't have a job anymore. Yeah.
This whole thing is crazy. Because like when I dug into it and watched this show and then dug into it more and realized how much we've done. I mean, not just us, 1930s Puerto Rico. They did it in Puerto Rico for the poverty. They sterilized women to keep down poverty and economic, problems. And then in 1976, the Government Accountability Office investigated between 25 and 50% of Native Americans were sterilized between 1970 and 1976.
Yep. So one thing that, and you always have to question everything, right? If stuff like this isn't been mainstream, if stuff like this wasn't in the news, there's no news articles about it. Who documented all of this happening? And how was it released? How was there
government accountability offices and stuff? They had it under wraps, and it was probably an organization that was considered top secret or a trial, and it was passed through a bill. None of us paid attention, and we don't hear about it until it's declassified.
And then somebody makes a documentary on it, and then they make a bit of money. Huh.
Yeah,
nice,
literally wild. Like, and it just makes you wonder, though. I mean, that was all the way up to 76, bro.
Speaking of which, this is huge news. I saw it on Reddit, out of all places. But
of course,
yep, Biden went ahead and signed an executive order that bans paywalls on government projects and research.
What? And explain that. I'm sorry.
In other words, you don't have to subscribe to something. You don't have to pay somebody for research into topics. It's pretty cool. Now, I'm sure like top secret stuff is different, but like.
But like, what about universities that are doing stuff and groundbreaking development and research? Like, they have to get funding somehow.
Yeah, and that's called tuition.
But no, not the universe. Oh, well, I guess the tuition of the students pays for that.
Typically, you can find the author of whoever wrote an article, right? That's always on a form. You can find the author, just email them, and they'll be more than happy for the most part to send you it for free. If you care to do stuff like that, which is really, it's pretty cool what happens.
Right.
One thing though, so this documentary, you paid for it, right?
Yeah,
PBS,
I had to pay for it.
Which is now technically, which has been governmentally backed, correct? It is governmentally backed.
PBS is
you technically
public broadcast station.
Yeah, which is crazy. It's bullshit.
Now they know your credit card information, they know who you are, and they know you're going to.
They already had that.
Yeah.
Alexa has all my info. She knows all the dirty things that we've all done.
Now looking up porn. She just fucking chimes in. Everyone's Alexa starts going off. Cancel.
What if I told you guys that you could take a pill that would make you smarter?
Oh, like
Adderall?
Like Limitless.
Yeah, exactly. It just makes you better. It enhances your memory and your learning ability. It helps brain function.
Vyvanse.
Neuronal firing. Let me tell you guys, there's this great drug out there called, I don't think it's a drug actually, it's a supplement, right? It's not a medication because it's not used to heal you. It's
not
it's a supplement,
federally backed. Yeah. It's not a drug, it's a supplement, yeah.
So I'm not going to say any specific brand, but we're going to talk about Nootropics.
Like Alpha Brain, now sponsored by Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan.
Right.
There you go.
I'm kidding.
There you have it.
It's good shit.
Yeah.
Have you tried it?
Yeah,
No.
I had a bottle of it that a guy who I have since nicknamed the Gerbil gave me, and
Wait, what?
he,
Why did you name him the gerbil?
he's a
Did he
absolute
shove a gerbil up his ass?
probably, but no, he's a absolute just piece of shit human being that doesn't deserve to be anywhere in my vicinity. At the time, he was an
Oh.
okay guy, but he really went down the fucking well. And he's like 4 foot. No, he's probably like 5'2", jacked. But I call him the gerbil because he looks just like me, just jacked and short. I'm like, you little gerbil, you. But no, he gave me some Alpha Brain. It had kind of a euphoric effect. Nothing crazy noticeable. It took about 2 weeks to kick in. I don't recommend it. But if you want to sponsor us, Joe, I will talk highly.
I mean, what exactly is it? Is my question. Like, what's in this supplement? Because since it's a supplement, you don't have to necessarily, release or divulge all the info, what's inside of it, because it's not been researched or backed federally, correct? That's why people got on the, GNC a while back or whatever, that company too.
So Nootropics is a type of supplement. So there's many different kinds, like B12
Kratom.
could
Right.
be included in a nootropic. But then there's also things like acetylcholine or choline, like those types of things that they put in there. So these supplements by themselves have been clinically tested and have been proven to improve certain functions of the brain, like
Cognitive ability,
recall, like
recall.
memory recall, and um, now, is that to say that these concoctions that are pre-made stacks that you can go and buy off the shelf are having those effects on you? Some people say that it's placebo. Some people say that it does work. I think it's just like anything else that you take, it works differently for different people. Different dosages might be required. There's no one size fits all, which is why a lot of people make their own stacks instead of buying something pre-made. So you can
Exactly.
pick and choose what you want to take.
Yeah.
Really?
So think about it like this, Paul. You remember when you started working out and you're like, I really hate the stuff that makes you itchy. It gets your heart rate going crazy. That's beta aniline. So you find something that's you take out that chemical compound that specifically causes that itchiness, the blood vessels, all of those things expanding that causes that is itchiness. It's realistically, if you were to make your own nootropic, you would say, okay, I want something that is actually proven, not the other who dad that's in that, and you buy just that chemical compound, mix it into your compound of your choice.
So you could add kratom, like we talked about before, in there, and that'd be technically correct, right?
Kratom itself is how I've taken it. Yes, 100% I consider a nootropic because of what it does to my cognitive ability, my recall, everything. It is very addictive though. I haven't taken it in a week. In the first 3 days off of it, after taking it for a week, I did notice a withdrawal
irritation.
Effect from it. Yes,
really.
So
but I'm
here's
also
the thing,
I love
though.
that feeling of quickness.
Addiction.
I'm a fast thinker, and I'm a fast thinker, and it put my thoughts in a. It was definitely a lot like Adderall for me, where everything was kind of patterned up. I could immediately pick what I wanted to talk about because I had all these voices in my head, like putting the hamster in the microwave type of stuff. I could say, "Oh, I'm not going to say that out loud."
Hang on. Okay,
so
we need to clarify something. Okay.
No, I'm kidding.
Nootropics cannot be anything. It has to fall within the supplements.
So what is it?
That would
Nootropic
be
itself is just a
nootropic
definition.
is right. So how you qualify a nootropic, it has to enhance memory and learning ability. It has to help the brain function under disruptive conditions. It has to protect the brain from harmful chemical damage. And it has to improve neuronal firing mechanisms. All of those needs have to be satisfied to classify it as a nootropic. So it's not just like you can't just say, "Oh, cocaine," because like it does damage to your brain.
The
It
one
doesn't
thing
prevent
though
damage.
that is the differential variable to every single nootropic though is the user. Every single user will have a different reaction to whatever is being described as a nootropic. For example, marijuana itself could be described as a nootropic for certain individuals. For others, not really. It just depends on how your body itself breaks up the compounds.
What do you think, Logan? You're looking a little disagreeing. You look like you disagree, slower. Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know about that either. Because here's my thing. Does a nootropic have to, like, does it have to? Can it cause you to have, like, visual effects? Like, could you, like, could it fuck you up?
No, that's not
Exactly.
the
So I
intention.
don't think
It's to sharpen you.
kratom
It's
or
to
weed
sharpen you.
or alcohol could ever be considered that is what he's going at.
Yeah.
Well, there's no visual cues. There's no, for me personally, like alcohol, fuck yeah. No, it definitely has some psychoactive effects for me.
Psychoactive, that's what I was looking for.
Let me
Kratom
give you an
doesn't.
example. Okay. Caffeine, the nootropic
Caffeine.
you're already taking on a day-to-day basis.
That could get you to go visual if you drink enough of it. It can start
I mean,
vibrating in your eyes.
It's
Well, Jack, you put
clinically
Mountain Dew.
proven to improve your thinking skills. You know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah.
Same
What
with
about
mints.
nicotine then?
I don't know about that one because it
'cause, I mean,
causes harm. Like it's
It
not.
does, but I feel like I can focus better with nicotine. Like if I'm needing to sit at work and like go through and like organize
You're
labels or
addicted,
something and I
Paul.
pop it in, I am. But if I don't have it,
Maybe-
like I'm slower. I pop it in, rocking and rolling.
Maybe you're being affected by a placebo.
Oh, is that what they're saying?
Oh.
I think
Placebo
more or
effect.
less it's
Ah.
validation is what he's looking for here.
Maybe you're thinking, this is
I
gonna
know
help
I
me
have an addiction.
focus,
Damn it, Connery.
so it helps you focus, right?
Yeah.
So
it
here's the
does.
thing. A lot of people are saying though that it's all placebo effect. Right? So how do
Yes.
we prove that it's not?
Apes.
So are you saying that they could be taking advantage of people financially for something that might not do anything for them?
Well, it doesn't hurt them and it's probably has vitamins that are going to be beneficial for their body, but I don't know, does it
Paul
improve
just
your
perfectly described the supplement world in a nutshell.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Right. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like is there proof? Is there really actually definitive proof? Like, has it been studied enough? Or because it hasn't, it's classified as a supplement. Is that
I mean,
why?
for the longest time, creatine in the fitness world was defined as a placebo until there was enough clinical research that was done to prove otherwise. I mean, that could go for any supplement.
Right.
Yeah.
There's just
So
has
it's
to
like
be clinical research.
do it at
done.
your own risk kind of thing.
And that's why I said apes. I mean, apes can't be. I wouldn't imagine could fall under the placebo effect, but then you're going under morale and all that other shit when it comes to animal
Yeah.
testing.
I don't
So,
think. What is
Here's
it?
the thing.
Not AARP.
For
What's that? The animal rights group. I just had a major brain fart.
PETA?
PETA,
Yeah.
AARP.
FEMA,
AARP. Jesus Christ. I'm gonna drink again.
Yeah, let's have a shot to that. Nootropics is a phenomenal topic, though.
Ugh.
We went from eugenics to nootropics.
Yeah, let's improve the brain function.
Of certain individuals that can afford a supplement.
Yeah, right.
All Americans get one supplement a day. Take this. Don't worry.
So-
Trust your government.
You know that alpha brain though you were talking about, Connery?
Mm-hmm. It's expensive.
They did something called a double blind test.
Ooh.
Do you know what that is?
Yes, somebody
Yeah.
got sugar, somebody else got the actual
so
pill.
So there's two placebos?
So there's a placebo and then there's the actual supplement, right? And they give it to a number of subjects. The subjects don't know whether they got the placebo or the real thing. And in a double blind test, the doctor administering the medication and monitoring them doesn't know which they got either. So the doctor's bias can't be
Acted.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
Ooh. There's
So-
it limits variables.
the only people who know who got what are the people running the experiment. So the doctors
Right.
directly interacting with the subjects don't know,
What was
and
the
neither
results?
does the subject. So the use of it for 6 weeks significantly improved recent verbal memory when compared with controls in a group of healthy adults.
That's why I said it took
Um,
like 2 weeks for me to notice anything when I was taking it. But the problem with it is it's so fucking expensive, you might as well just consider it as a unnecessary expense.
So how much is it? Like how much are we talking?
I think it was like
think it's like-
$60 for fucking 30 days.
What?
Yeah, no, for 30 pills, and then I
Oh.
think you're supposed to take 2 a day.
Yeah, that's what it was. So 15 days for $60, it's not worth it for me.
Yeah, it's a lot. I think you can
That's
get
more expensive than Adderall. Fuck.
I think you can get the 90 days for like $80 or something like that.
Fuck
But
it.
it's
Give me the legal
expensive.
meth.
It's expensive for sure.
That's ridiculous.
Do you consider microdosing on shrooms to be a neurotropic in a sense?
Right? Couldn't that be though? Or because it's giving you a release of endorphins to make you happy, is it considered a side effect, or is that? I wonder.
So I've seen documentaries about microdosing. There's one on Netflix. I can't remember what it's called about that specifically. Something fungus, I think. I can't remember, man. Fantastic
Fungus Among Us?
maybe.
Yeah, I think
can't
it
remember.
was something along those lines of fungus though.
Yeah.
I
So
saw
either
it
way,
pop up in the top
Hamilton's Pharmacy. That's a good one.
they do microdosing, and I guess they're saying that there may be some evidence that it does actually improve cognitive function and emotional stability.
Right.
So maybe something to that. I don't
That
know.
just makes. But why aren't we? I feel like why aren't we trying to study this more then? Like, why isn't there more studies to be
I'm
done
sure
on
there is. It's just
all
not
of
mainstream.
this? Yeah. Well,
I mean, think
right.
about it.
They
For
don't
the
want to
longest-
release it until it's like official data is finished, kind of thing.
For the longest time, nobody knew that the U.S. government was testing LSD
Sterilizing people. Yeah.
well, testing LSD on soldiers, thinking it would make them
That
super
too.
soldiers, which would be a hell of a topic for another night.
It wasn't just soldiers too, wasn't it? Like through the tap water of some
Yep.
residents and stuff for over a long period. Yeah, it was part of MK Ultra, right?
Yeah,
Or something like that. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, that would be a
Terrifying.
great topic for us to talk about.
I thought we haven't we?
I don't believe so.
Maybe another one. If you guys want us to talk about that topic more often, email us.
So I had a thought today. I was laying on the couch, wife was holding the baby, everything was perfect. And I was thinking, I was like, for starters, I conceived this child with more rights than when she was born, which was one of the things that I was thinking about with the overturning of Roe v. Wade. And then
It's
I was
fucked up, huh?
thinking, it is, yeah. And then I was thinking to myself, kind of the new reality that we're all accustomed to. Like, think about it like this. If I was to catch COVID, I wouldn't have been allowed to watch my baby be born.
Or if you were overseas fighting for your country, you wouldn't be allowed to watch your baby being born.
Well, that's
Yeah,
kind
because-
of been normal, right?
But you should be able to be flown back. I think that should be part of it.
Well,
I should think if you're going on a deployment and your wife is pregnant, you're not allowed to go on that deployment.
okay. Well, I'm trying to switch topics, Paul. God damn it.
Fuck your topic.
Fuck your topic. And one of the things I also started thinking about is global warming and how think about it when it gets too hot because the Dead
Lake
Valley.
Mead,
What's the Dead Valley, or what is that called? Death Valley.
Death Valley,
Just had a world record temperature set of 127 degrees Fahrenheit. And I was thinking to myself, okay, last time Texas had a massive
meowsif
heat wave.
I heard you wouldn't say meow.
The electrical grid started having blackouts. Last time there was a cold, massive blackouts. So I started looking up blackouts, and it just so happens that as of basically 10 hours ago from us doing this stream, Britain, experts warn energy rationing this winter could be seen. Could see people told not to cook after 8 p.m., pubs close at 9 p.m., 3-day-a-week school,
Don't lose it.
care for homes cancel, outings for residents and swimming pools left unheated because of energy, electricity
UK
blackouts.
Would give zero fucks about all of those except for one thing, and
The
that's
pub.
the pubs closing. The pubs close. That entire little island is bursting into flames.
Imagine not being able to cook until after 8 p.m., not using your stove because you want to conserve power because of rolling blackouts.
Yeah,
Which
that happened during wartime too. You have to remember that.
got me thinking, is this going to become the new normal? Are we going to start conforming to like how we had to with COVID? Eventually, it's kind of the new normal. Like, other than the few cunts that say, I can't believe you're still wearing a mask. If somebody wants to wear a mask, fuck it. If somebody wants to be whatever they want to be, fuck it. But anyways, the new normal of Okay, this is required in some places. In the hospital, I had to wear my mask the entire time throughout the hallways, through everything until I was in my own room. Makes sense.
Right.
In my eyes, it makes sense. That's the new normal, though, right? 2.5 years ago, that wasn't.
No, you could just. I used to do sales for medical sales in hospital, and I would just walk in straight into hospital bedrooms and talk to people, doctors, everything. So I mean,
So it's
I
coming
get
to
that.
the new normal. Everyone's already kind of normalized $3.50 a gallon, right? Everyone's kind of like, oh, gas went up to $4.50, now it's at $3.50. Let's just normalize it. And I think the new normalization is kind of the idea I was thinking of for my topic tonight is, what do you guys think is going to start becoming the new normal, if you will, with everything across the board? I mean, say with everything that's going on over in the UK, with Russia, with Ukraine, with the pipeline, all of that shit, energy, food shortages, shortages for formula, shortages for all of this different stuff. What do you think will start moving towards as the new normal? Will it be us having to ration gas? Well, not us in the US. I think we'll be just fine as an energy independent country, but food shortages is something that might impact us. The cost of food rising is going to be the shortage I'm more or less leaning to. The actual quantity, not so much, but the price of it.
I feel like if something changes drastically, people bitch too much, and they'll want to find a solution, especially here in America. And then great minds put their shit to work and try to solve a solution or find a solution. If it ever got to the point where we're having rolling blackouts, we're going to find a way to fill in our energy grid so we don't. I think that would happen.
I don't remember what just happened or what state it just happened or city it just happened in, but there was a city that had a water supply issue, and now they're saying it's indefinitely that they will not have a clean water supply. And I'm not talking about Flint, Michigan. I'm talking about another
No,
city.
it was. I just saw that too. Actually, wasn't it in?
That's huge. And when the government's coming out and saying, "Hey, look, this is indefinite. We have no idea how to do this."
Flint.
Oh, it's Flint. Let's look at the.
It's got to be Flint.
No,
That was it Texas, wasn't it? Texas. They had one recently. It was like a county or community, and they're like, "Yo, this water is extreme toxic."
You're gonna start having stuff over in the West that it's gonna completely collapse, especially with like me
shit.
driving up.
States are pulling this year waterways, top 10 states with the amount of toxic releases: Indiana, Texas, Louisiana, Alabama, Virginia, Nebraska, Pennsylvania, Georgia, North Carolina, Ohio.
It's becoming kind of a new normal, though, is what I'm saying, guys. Like boiling, and it could be on the little scale of maybe the rest of our lives, maybe for 10 years from now, we have to boil water. It's just kind of becomes the new normal.
But I feel like there would be upgraded filtration systems put in place in at least certain communities. Like I guarantee you, obviously this is probably one that's in a poorer community, and there's not as much funding directly to that community itself or the water treatment plant. But if you go to other areas, of course, where there's more money,
all right, perfect.
Their water treatment plant is fine. And so that's why I'm saying we have to, get more money to our smaller communities because of voting, and our state government should had help funding wise to those communities get. Like Flint should not have had this much of a problem for water for this long. Like not only should the state have immediately when they found that out put more money to it, the community should, and so honestly the federal government should have put some towards it as well. Instead of just sending them a bunch of boxed water, it's like, all right, how much does it need to fix the infrastructure? Let's figure that out. Boom, go after that.
Oh, the same amount of money we just sent over to Ukraine.
Exactly, stuff like that.
I don't know.
We can fix that. We have the minds. It's whether or not we have the funds to do it.
Let's not talk about the hypotheticals here. Let's talk about the hypotheticals here, the smaller ones. What do you think will become the new normal? Like, it's gonna happen, irregardless, because let's be honest, nobody can fucking agree on anything.
Are you saying like Mad Max shit's gonna happen? We're just not gonna have water.
Put on your fucking tin hats. Let's all take a shot. I'm saying
water could be eventually someday used as currency. Think about that.
Did you hear about the fucking upcoming beer shortage because carbonation is slowly starting to become non-existent? There's beer shortages now.
Because of water or because of CO2? Because we got plenty of CO2.
CO2 shortages.
Really?
That was something that I saw. I don't know. So let's just think about it. Say Eventually things are going to become inevitable because you're talking all of this stuff about there needs to be proper voting. There needs to be properly. Thanos. Oh yes. Yeah. Snap your fingers.
Inevitable.
Think about it. Think about it like this though. It's gonna happen irregardless. Nobody can fucking agree on anything on the political level because there's such a massive divide in this country.
Not just ours, around the country, around the world. There's multiple divide even now.
You guys know that there's already states, big states like California, that pull water from other states.
Yeah,
like they rely on the Rocky Mountains and the runoff from those mountains.
But you have to think
transport the water to California. Exactly, and I'm sure other states too. Like they rely on that.
Probably charge them, is what I'm guessing, but I don't honestly know. But you have to think, California, large population of people. On top of that, it's also the largest state for agriculture. But you didn't know that too. People were like, "Oh, the Midwest with all their corn." Yeah, we are the grain basket of the United States. But who grows the most avocados, the most fruits, the most vegetables? It's California.
You know who owns most of it?
Who?
Bill Gates.
Bill Gates, that motherfucker.
So, Elon Musk,
smart move, Bill,
and a lot of geopolitical analysis, and this is facts. We're in a massive population decline right now. You know that, right?
Yeah, we've talked about it.
We have.
Yeah, it's because it's too expensive to have kids.
It's too expensive to have kids. Food, the healthcare, uncertainty of the future, and let's be honest, media's had a big hand in all of that.
Agreed.
I don't know. The demonizing of Bill Gates and all this other stuff, it kind of cracks me up. I'm like, why would he want depopulation? It doesn't, on the big scale of things, doesn't make sense when it comes to the workforce.
Yeah.
No, like the trackers in the, remember the back in the day when the trackers in the COVID shots were a thing? That cracked me up. I was like, why the fuck would he want to do that?
Magnets on their arm and shit. I was like,
oh, this guy holding up a spoon. I was like, I could do that on my fucking nose when I was in 3rd grade, you little cunt.
You can do it more than your nose. I've done it when I'm sweaty and oily enough where I just breathe on it and stick it to my forehead. Fuck.
I could do it on my cock.
Yeah, I bet.
Hang on.
Lauren, your trick. Let me know if it works.
Hold up.
Hold up.
I don't know what's happening, and I don't like it.
Connery's about to put a spoon on his wiener.
How do you think I had a child?
It's the small pudding spoon now.
Yeah. Lauren just walked. I could see it now. Lauren just walked in. He's laying on the bed on his side, his arm propping his head up.
No,
and his knee bent on his other leg.
It's a multi-million-dollar house with the tiny little fancy $10,000 Coke spoon that's diamond encrusted.
Right.
Just to do bumps.
That, or she opens and he's just laying there with like a freaking huge ass Abraham Lincoln top hat standing in it like, hi, honey. Oh.
He said, "How do you think my daughter was born?" Jesus.
Right. Not wrong. Doesn't take much.
Do you we've already talked about it. It's not the government, it's the media that has control over it and lobbyists, right? We've talked about that.
And private companies that control those medias. We have to remember that.
Yeah, I mean,
we're in tin hat people. We're in tin hat mode.
We're in tin hat. I mean, I'm fucking drinking. It's the capitalist, or it's the privatized.
Oh, don't be doing it. It's the capitalist. It's the socialist.
Well,
blah, blah.
That's what it is.
Regardless, but the elites.
Capitalism.
The elites, whether they push socialist agendas or capitalists, it doesn't matter what government they're trying to push. They're on their own realm, and they don't give a shit what we're doing. So, I mean, regardless, I hate when people are like, "Oh, you got to pick a side." It's like both sides fucking suck. I mean, especially here. I love when we're talking on Drunk Court with people around the world, and it's like, why can't you guys just agree? It's like, agree on what? The modern U.S. citizen doesn't agree with either side. Majority does not agree with either one. There's no agreeing. It's just, there's soap in your eye or there's conditioner in your eye. They both sting, though.
Oh, thanks for the shout out, Glaz. Yeah, sorry. We've got Mad Hatter Alley. We've got a bunch of people in the chat.
What is she saying?
I don't know. She's something about tubes removed. Don't do it, Meg. I don't recommend it.
Did you already have a kid or?
No, it's
no.
You're talking about IVF and stuff like that. there's a big look. Sex feels great. I think we can all say that. Sex is amazing, but you don't have to have sex. Control yourself in general, male
Or
and
wear a
female, if you
condom.
don't want kids, or try other forms of contraceptive. Yeah. For
Like
me, it
anal?
took 3 fucking years to have a kid. So yeah, anal. Butt babies don't live. Cheers.
And girls don't poop, so win.
Or fart. Actually, I take that back. I've heard a lot of everything this week.
Oh, I believe it. I believe it. Have you been shit on, and how many times in just a week?
By my daughter. 3 times.
I mean, look at it this
The-
way. At least there's no penis, so it's not just flipping up and going wherever.
So
It's like a water hose that you turn on, just fucking flipping around there.
last night we had our I'd like to call them godparents, but I don't care for that type of term. Just they're not family, but I consider them family. They're people I met here down in Florida.
Oh, like us?
Yeah, but I met them down here, and they've been a huge help for the baby shower, for the baby, for house watching, all that type of shit. Look, fuck, I came home from the hospital with Lauren, and there was dinner on our table. I was like, I have really good people down here. Anyways, I don't know where I was fucking going with this. What were we talking about?
I don't know. I have no peeing and like
Oh,
an
yeah,
elephant turning
peeing.
on a
It was
hose.
peeing. She's had boys and girls, and she's had baby fever. She's, I think, in late 30s, and she loves this baby. She calls it her baby. It's my baby. Fuck her, but I love her. So yeah, okay,
Right.
her baby. And she was like, "Just be glad you didn't have to buy a PPTP," is what it's called. I was like, "What the fuck is a PPTP?"
A what?
Yeah,
A what?
basically, it's a washable instrument that
Diaper.
the moment you pull off a boy's diaper, you put it on top of them, because the moment cold air hits the penis, they start peeing.
It's up.
Just waving around like a wacky noodle.
They sell that, and it comes with its
PPTP.
own little tent. Prep it up, prop it up right in the front, like
It's called a PPTP.
TP.
It's something along those lines. Look it up. It's PPTP along those
There's
lines.
no way.
Type
I
in
don't think I
newborn.
will look it up. I think
Probably
that's really-
$60.
just for me.
Yeah, I don't recommend Googling newborn PPTP, but Paul's looking it up. I guarantee you Paul's typing in PPTP.
Paul, you're not gonna like the website you end up on.
Oh my god.
This website's got a whole bunch of
Do you
shit.
mean PP treaty?
Is that what it's called?
No.
What is it? Tell us.
I'm literally working on it. Here it is.
Oh,
Oh my god, it's like a little cone. You just sit it on top. They come in camo.
They come in camo. Fucking can match your Crocs. Hold it up to
The
screen, I wanna see it.
PPTP. Oh, this is great.
Oh, your
It's
your
blurred.
camera
I'm
doesn't
blurred.
like it.
I know. It doesn't like it. It's a little cone. Imagine a cloth cone that you just drop on top of that bad boy.
Anyways,
party hat.
PPTP. Yeah, it's a party hat.
for our
Like a party
listeners,
hat.
if you have a boy, don't invest in that. Just take the diaper the moment you pull it off and cover. As long as there's like no.
My
solid
dad used
turds.
to take a brand new diaper and do it. My mom would get pissed if I would fucking pee across the room. And then he'd be like, he stopped doing it. He eventually was like, why waste the diaper? Like, we can just clean the wall. It's fine.
I
I'd
guess
just
I
be
was,
peeing across the room.
when I was a toddler, I was a little shit because we had a male dog at the time, and we're completely off topic. Fuck it. When I was
He lifted his leg and peed in the yard, so you wanted
No.
to do it?
he peed in the house. So I,
Ah.
as a toddler, was like, I can do that too, and I started peeing all over the house. I am so
That's
glad,
why it smells like urine in there.
I am so glad I didn't have a fucking boy.
I don't know.
Talking
I feel
about
like a boy would be
genetics.
great.
No, my
You know,
my
they get hurt or get a splinter. They don't cry as much, or
my
you know. Well, David did, but that's besides the point.
I was gonna say my male audience, guys, we're idiots.
We
Yeah.
do do stupid shit. Yeah, that's fair.
that's
Bodily
why I
harm.
need nootropics.
You mean
Alpha brain.
eugenics? No.
So before we end the podcast, let me ask you guys this: if morals really weren't a thing, right? Let's take morality off the table, and you could experiment on babies.
Hang
And-
on, no.
Whoa.
And
No.
you could give children nootropics to see if it can actually boost their developmental,
Date.
just in general, their development.
It's like Dragon Ball Z shit, bro. Putting them in a test tube and just
You scared me for a second, but that's not that bad.
No, that isn't that bad. Like, I'm talking about creating super babies. Fucking babies that are business people.
Super babies.
Bro, I'm talking like
This one can fly.
business class stock trading babies.
Becomes a thing because of this.
What if it becomes
Baby
a thing?
Wolverine.
No, I'm
Just
not
got the
talking like
adamantium.
I'm not talking super babies, like genetically modified babies. I'm talking like let's give them a drug and cognitively they become superior to adults because their brain's already growing faster than an adult will because
They'd just be assholes faster.
Next thing you know, they're like, "Where's my foreskin, Jerry?"
Where did it go?
Where's my foreskin, Jerry? Oh shit. They start talking to you, mother, father. I do derive that my penis foreskin is no longer there.
There used to be a cap. Where did it go?
We will walk when I say we walk.
No, Mom. Today I wish to slide on my ass.
So
Just see a baby roll into school, like literally, just super baby.
super baby just rolling to school.
I don't need no one to drive me. I'm a super baby.
Starts flying.
They derive a wheel in which they can lay so that they can literally
That makes
roll
me
to
think
school.
though, like what happens if we did that kind of stuff though, and there was a negative effect? Like all of a sudden our next generation was either superhero or if it went negative, like what happens if we tried something like that and the next generation was like sterile?
So
and it could potentially end the human race.
technically,
That's terrible.
We're the fucking dodo birds.
I have one of those babies, technically. I have a coronial.
Was that a thing? That's not a thing. It's a coronial.
No, I think that's what they're gonna call them. Like the next, like upcoming
Cronies.
coronials. Like it happened during the coronavirus. My wife had the COVID vaccine. We had a baby. Technically, that baby was in the womb while she had the vaccine. What if genetically it changes their makeup a little bit?
We did with 3M, so
Maybe it's for the better.
Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. What if? Oh, I
They
don't
build
want
up
to
an
go down.
immunity
To
to anything. Not just that, but like, what if they were like immune to viruses in general?
Or alcohol.
What if we got to a
poisoning.
point? That would suck though. What if you could never get buzzed? Oh, it's like, what's the point? It's just fucking really spicy water. Why is it spicy?
Have you guys watched She-Hulk?
I have. It's great. Oh, fantastic.
Did you-
I actually like it.
Did you watch the last
I did
episode?
the newest one. Don't ruin it.
I
Don't
haven't
ruin
seen
it.
No, everyone on
ruin it.
social
Haven't seen-
media has seen the twerking fucking thing. Everyone.
No, Logan's
Logan just
taking
took
his
his
fucking
headphones off.
headset off.
It's already ruined, Logan. I said twerking. Anyways,
I will kill
No
for
one
you,
takes
Megan.
return.
That's what she says. It's great.
I will kill for you.
Oh,
So,
Well,
anyways, everyone dies.
I guess with
Is that
that-
what-
No, I don't know. We actually
the
nobody knows who the protagonist is in She-Hulk. I'm just saying.
it's just cameos right now. It's nothing but a show of cameos. Fuck
And
out of here.
Even on Instagram, they're like, "Yeah, it's gonna be just." Even the next episode has different celebrity cameos. I'm like, man, look, I know in the comics She-Hulk's a fucking whore, but
True.
like
It's so true.
the twerking, that shit doesn't bother me. Her sleeping with dudes doesn't bother me. It's part of the comics. It makes sense. But the cameos,
I
come
wish
on.
they follow the comics. The comic, I think the way they're doing it as well. I think it's following comics more so than people like to give it credit. And I mean,
People are
if you
just a
didn't read
bunch
the
of
comics, exactly. And if you didn't like the comics, you didn't read the comics. So if you don't like them, don't watch that section of the show. Like, sorry. There was literally comics made for Marvel to reach all aspects of us, of their viewers. So
Yeah,
fuck
no,
off.
And they've invested millions. Oh! Look, we're kind of at the end of it. Amazon, The
Cheers.
Rings of Power. Cheers.
Mm.
Have you seen it?
The new
No,
Game of
wait,
Thrones,
it's out.
Fire and Blood.
Have you seen that yet? I'm probably gonna watch it tonight in between the baby feeding sessions. But last night we watched both episodes of Lord of the Rings: Ring of Power. Very fucking good. Slow.
Have you
start.
tried some yourself, Connery? That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh, I'm glad you brought that up.
I knew.
So
Have you tried some?
look, let me give you some backstory. Lauren's been doing this colostrum thing, kind of like for the past month and a half, just putting it in a tube. I tried that at the hospital because it exploded and it got on my face, and I was like, fuck it. So I like, brushed it in. Tasted like it was fatty. It sort of was like a
Well,
Vaseline.
no shit.
So
it's
I
all
was
the
like,
excess proteins.
it was also frozen, put in a freezer, and I brought it from home to give to the baby in case Lauren, in case. Oh, by the way, fucking baby's name is Delaney. Isn't that a great fucking
I
name?
saw that.
Delaney.
Loved it.
Anyways, I love that name.
I'm just gonna call her D. Come on, D.
So in case, don't call her DD. I will fucking kill you.
Ooh, DD. It's DD.
Don't say it, please. Lauren
Yep.
will be pissed. I'm sure she's watching us right now. Sorry.
No, DD, my laboratory.
She said the same thing. She was like, "You remember Dexter's laboratory, Dee Dee?" I was like,
No,
I don't
Dee Dee.
remember that." But
I
anyway,
can't do that voice.
so today I was sitting on the couch and she's finally starting to produce milk rather than colostrum. Colostrum's what they produce before they're producing milk. It's very, very good. It can be used as moisturizer. It can be used on wounds for healing purposes. It's really good shit. So she got some milk in this thing that's called a I don't remember what the fuck it's.
She pumps?
It's not, no. We went to one of those hospitals that is considered baby friendly. They don't do fucking pacifiers. They don't do electric pumps. They don't do any of that shit. They're like, no, you have to do it all natural. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Start a sucking, baby.
Yeah. So they're like, if you're gonna do a pacifier, air quotes, you have to wear a rubber glove and use your finger. I was like, all right, cool. That doesn't bother me. Makes sense. Because it's connection for the baby. Anyways, where was I going with this? Fucking tit juice.
Did you try it?
So she pumped, or she sucked it out with this. I can't remember what it's fucking called. It's literally just a slow suck. It's not a pump. Into this device, and I sniffed it. I was like, yeah, I could probably put this on cereal.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I heard you wouldn't take some and just like bake some cornbread with it and feed it to each other. Like, here you go, honey.
I think I'll try
It's
it.
your titty milk.
I think so. The game plan is we get enough of it. We have to wait till I think like 2 weeks. They say don't start bottle feeding your baby for 2 weeks because it can fuck with shit. So I was like, all right, fair enough. So in 2 weeks' time, she's saving her extra breast milk in the freezer. If she gets a fresh batch, I'll probably try it just to see what it's fucking like. Fuck it.
Don't you take that baby's food?
And that's
How
what I don't
dare you
wanna
rip
do.
that baby's protein away from it?
But right now, when it comes to breast juices,
Don't let it suck on the pacifier too long either. It's gonna be.
we're not doing pacifiers. We decided against it.
Oh,
Yeah.
All right. Just
I was
shove
a
your finger in your
pacifier
baby's
baby.
mouth, I guess.
Yeah.
You got your little rubber condoms, like finger condoms. Just
We fuck the hospital. They charged us $817 for a fucking meal. You saw that, right?
what?
Yeah. They put the price tags on the meal as they bring it to you.
Are you kidding? I would have said, "Fuck off! I'm running to McDonald's, honey. What do you want? You want some Freddy's? Some Taco Bell? What?"
For starters, and I know being in the insurance world, why the fuck are hospitals getting away with doing this type of shit? Blows my
Straight
mind.
robbery.
Straight robbery. And that's why our insurance premiums are so fucking high.
Would you get pudding, some applesauce in a fucking sandwich?
Oh no, she got I didn't get any food. I had to go to the cafeteria and buy my own fucking food down there. I got sick off of one of them. It was a stir
For
fry.
$800, it better be a 3-course meal for both of you. Fuck.
No, it was, those, have you ever been to a Holiday Inn
Yes.
and got the continental breakfast?
Yes.
And those little tiny Southwestern omelets that are like a half moon and it's got little tiny veggies in it.
Yes.
Yeah, she had one of those in
For
that $800
$800
meal, along with 3 slices of toast that were French toast. And there was 4 apple slices in there, and then 3 grapes and
Fuck off.
some scrambled eggs.
Was there like caviar on top
No.
or some gold fucking dusting? For $800, they can kiss my ass.
I could have made a YouTube series saying my $10,000 meal and just posted this meal. And it got in clickbait.
just from the
views.
hospital.
Just from the hospital. It blew my mind. But when I went and bought breakfast, I learned something. I learned something the first day because it was sort of like a buffet. You grabbed your food and you were like, okay, I like 1 scoop of that, 3 of those, and a scoop of that. So when you go to the register, you open up your lunchbox and you're like, I got a scoop of this, 3 pieces of this, and a scoop of this. And I got charged accordingly. The second day, I didn't say a fucking word. I opened my lunchbox. My meals started costing $1.85. And I got the exact same thing the day
my
before
God.
for $8. I was like, these guys don't give a shit. They're just pressing buttons at this point. You just don't say a damn word when you're at the hospital. Pro fucking tip to the guys that don't get the free $800 lunch.
Damn right. And I guess with that, fuck the hospital. And thank you to all our listeners and viewers for joining in and tuning in to us. We're going to try to be going, I think we've decided 6 o'clock, guys. Is that good with you guys on Saturdays?
6 p.m. Saturdays. Look,
6 p.m. Saturdays.
It's probably going to change. I don't know. It's worked out well for the past 3 Saturdays. Thank you guys so much for listening to Drunk Discussions Podcast. Be sure to find our merch on Twitch. You can also find us on Redbubble. If you guys want to submit questions, if you guys want to chime in, either join us live on 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Twitch, or you can email us at drunkscussion.crew@gmail.com. You can also find us on Facebook, TikTok. I think we've got a Twitter. I don't know. Wherever we can be found. Thank you guys so much for listening to Drunk Discussions Podcast. That being said, peace.
Peace.
1, 2, 3.
Very nice. Very nice.